Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really trying to cut through the noise, get right to the core of what you, as a UK business owner or leader, need to be thinking about for 2025. Our mission. Well, it's a deep dive into protecting those absolutely vital profit margins. Because, let's face it, it's looking like a really challenging, high-cost environment ahead. Okay, let's unpack this.
Yeah, definitely.
We've pulled together some, I think, really insightful material for this dive. And the goal isn't just, helping you survive the economic squeeze.
Right.
It's about going beyond just managing the day-to-day cash flow. It's about finding those strategic financial insights you need to actually thrive.
Exactly. And what's particularly striking from the research we looked at is why this kind of strategic shift is just so urgent right now.
Okay.
The data paints a very clear picture for UK businesses looking at 2025. It's like a relentless pressure cooker. You've got rising material prices, increased employment costs, supply chains are still causing friction.
Still. And for so many, honestly, just keeping the lights on, managing the cash flow week to week, that feels like a huge victory. But it's just not enough anymore.
That's a really vital distinction. And, as I was going through the source material for this deep dive, one thing really jumped out at me. It's this trap, a common trap businesses fall into, and it feels particularly dangerous in a high-cost situation. It's what we're calling sort of working harder, not smarter. You're busy, maybe busier than ever, chasing revenue.
Right, lots of activity.
Exactly. But without a really crystal clear, almost like microscopic view of your margins. Well, you could easily be pouring time, money, resources into services, maybe even certain clients that are actually actively eroding your bottom line. And here's where it gets really interesting.
What's fascinating here is this isn't just about, the usual advice like tighten your belts.
Yep.
It's more fundamental. It's about rethinking how you even view your finances. Our sources really hammer home a crucial point.
Yeah.
Not all revenue is created equal. Right. A pound isn't always a pound, profit-wise.
Precisely. Think about it. You might get a pound of revenue from, say, service A, and after all the costs, you're left with 50p profit. Great. But a pound from service B might only leave you, 5p profit.
Wow. Big difference.
Huge. And spotting that difference means asking some tough, maybe uncomfortable questions. Questions that, frankly, many businesses just aren't asking regularly.
Okay, so it's less about top-line revenue and much more about what actually lands as profit. What are some of those critical questions our sources say you should be asking?
That's spot on. The kind of questions you need to ask and keep asking are things like, which specific services or products truly deliver the highest profit margins after you account for all the associated costs, not just the obvious ones?
Okay.
Then, who are your most profitable clients? And just as importantly, what is it about them? What makes them so valuable to your bottom line? Is it the type of work, how they operate? And maybe the most revealing one, where are those hidden leaks, the inefficiencies, the wasted time or materials hiding deep inside your operations that you're just not seeing day to day?
And it's not just a snapshot of today, is it? What about looking ahead?
Exactly. That's crucial. A forward-looking question, one that often gets missed, is something like, okay, if material costs go up by, say, 5% in the next 6 months, or employment costs rise 3%, how will that actually impact our overall profitability? What's the real number?
Right, predicting the impact.
Yes, and if we connect this to the bigger picture, answering these kinds of questions, it takes you way beyond standard end-of-year accounting. It requires what our source material calls dynamic, forward-looking financial analysis.
Dynamic and forward-looking.
Think of it like this. Stop just looking in the rearview mirror at where your money was that's reporting. Start building a detailed GPS for where you want your profits to go.
Ah, I like that, a profit GPS.
Yeah, complete with real-time adjustments for, economic potholes or detours. It's a fundamental shift from just financial reporting to proactive financial road mapping.
That analogy of a GPS for your profits really clicks. It makes perfect sense. So, okay, what does this all mean for you, listening right now, in practical terms? Our sources seem to boil the strategic approach down into 3 core areas that can make a huge difference. First, there's deep profitability analysis. This means really digging in, going beyond just the company-wide number. It's analyzing profit, like you said, by client, by service type, maybe even down to specific projects.
You'd be surprised what you find sometimes.
I bet. Things you thought were profitable maybe aren't.
Yeah.
And this depth, it lets you focus your sales, your marketing efforts, all that energy where it delivers the biggest actual profit, not just the biggest, headline revenue number.
Exactly. Focus the effort.
Second, you need robust financial forecasting. And we're not talking about simple budgets here. We mean building dynamic financial models that let you stress test your business.
Stress test, yeah.
Yeah. See what happens if costs jump or the market suddenly shifts. It's almost like running your business through a flight simulator for different economic conditions.
That's a good way to put it.
It turns that scary uncertainty into a quantifiable risk, something you can actually plan around.
Right. Makes it manageable.
And third, it's all about driving operational efficiency. This means getting really granular, identifying precisely where your time and, crucially, your money are really going. Maybe it's an old, clunky process or some bottleneck you've just learned to live with.
Things you might overlook.
Totally. By streamlining those processes, making targeted fixes, you can directly boost your margins, often without even needing to increase sales. So what does this all mean? I think the takeaway is, in this kind of high-cost environment, actively protecting your profit margin. It isn't just a nice to have, it's the absolute foundation for any kind of sustainable growth.
This raises an important question then, doesn't it? For you, the listener, don't just aim to survive 2025. That's playing defense.
Right.
By really implementing these strategies, adopting this more forward-looking financial mindset, you can actually shift your business from defense to offense. You can set the stage for a genuinely more profitable future, almost regardless of what the economic winds are doing.
So the final thought to leave you with is this. How will you proactively identify and then protect your most profitable areas, your most valuable client relationships? Not just to weather the coming storm, but to actually use this period to become stronger and truly thrive. That's your challenge to think about moving forward.